every single card in this deck is a portal to a place in that world. And I will show you the collage that I made. All I'm holding here is a bunch of cards, but what this deck means to me is just, oh my God, here we go. Hey everybody, welcome back to another installment of Show Me How You Practice. This is a hashtag that I started in the tarot community on YouTube. And I just want to say first and foremost, thanks to all the engaging comments in the first video that I uploaded on this. It was still summer, mid-August in Corsica when I was there, and now it's cold, rainy, dark, but it's also cozy. I have my cup of tea here. The second video was actually a live that I did with Kelly Bear, and you can look that up as well. It was really fun to watch all the VRs to the original video using the hashtag because it allowed me to see, of course, the purpose of the video, how other tarot readers are practicing this craft, but then also to actually discover different channels that I wasn't aware existed. So this goes for everybody. If you want to be in the playlist on my channel of VRs to the videos that I make, first of all, obviously make your VR and don't forget to tag me, use the hashtag, and maybe even to make sure that I actually do see it, because for some reason YouTube doesn't always allow me to see when I'm tagged in people's descriptions, etc. Comment that you made a VR underneath the last video, underneath the live that I did with Kelly Bear, or underneath also on my channel, but you can see it in the live chapter thingy, or underneath this video, obviously. So let's get into another way of looking at our tarot practice. If you don't know me yet, hi, my name is Anna. I'm a professional tarot reader and I make videos about it on YouTube and on Patreon. I also have a deck that I made myself from scratch, and I'm using make playing cards to do the print on demand. So if you're into a very magical witchcraft type oracle, then you can check that out. Everything is always linked in the description. This, however, is about another tarot deck that I really, really love. I love it so much and I talk about it so much that people who watch my videos have started calling it my deck, the Anna deck. Triomphe de la Luna by Patrick Valenza. This is a Marseille, sort of untraditional Marseille, and I still very much adore it. I use it a lot. And this is the classic paradoxical version. English text. All right, I feel I'm doing this backwards. So in this video, I'm going to show you one way, at least, that you can feel the world of this deck more. And not specifically this deck, it's just that I feel I have legitimacy to talk about this deck because I know it so well. It's no coincidence that people consider this my deck, the Anna deck. It's because, well, I can't shut up about it. I always show it in my videos. Also, I just read with it so much in my relatively small tarot collection, and I've come to know it so well, and I really, really love it. I still very much do. So let's get into that a little bit later on, because the premise of this video is really about learning how to really immerse yourself in the world of a specific tarot deck. This doesn't work for every deck, I feel, although it definitely depends on how you feel about the deck that's currently in your hands, basically. I want to mention some things, all right? So about this hashtag. Hashtag show me how you practice, but actually I'm just using the first letters of every word to make it a little bit shorter. I got so many engaging comments, as I said, really lovely. People were excited about the video. People made VRs. I got a lot of comments also saying, well, that's great that you don't show decks, you're showing how you practice. That's what I do on my channel all the time. And I think that's great. I do too. Actually, with a lot of these channels that have made a VR to that original video, I checked them out, and it's true. Their channel is about their tarot practice. It's not about showing decks. Now, first of all, don't get me wrong, no hate on the deck comments. I think I made that pretty clear. I do deck videos as well, where I unbox and show decks and reviews and share my opinion about cardstock and all those things. But I truly love the videos that are about personal practice and that are about experiences with a tarot deck or with a tarot card or a specific tarot reading, and just simply your practice. Isn't that what it's truly about? What's the core? So you can already tell that's what I'm passionate about. That's what I'm sharing on my channel. And I know I'm not the only one. So actually, a lot of people, including myself, should have the "Don't show me decks, show me how you practice" banner on top of our channel, right? Because that's the type of content that we make. I just have to say that video did pretty good. It got people talking, and there was this little bit of like a fresh feeling, you know, a kind of like boost. Some people who were only making videos about decks did a VR to this, you know, showing their own personal practice. And it's really interesting. It's a conversation. You know how sometimes a video can just provoke that and it's all very positive. So I really love that. I just realized that sometimes you have to tell people. So that's why I used that title in big fat letters: "Don't show me decks, show me how you practice." Because I know at some point I saw that comment in someone's live and I thought, that's exactly it. That's what I want to use to tell people that this is what I'm doing in pretty much every video, including even the deck videos, because I always try to, you know, elaborate a little bit and explain and just share about tarot knowledge, about reading cards, and about what I believe in and my thoughts, etc. And yeah, you can see them in the comment section, obviously, underneath the original video, but also in the playlist on my channel, the VRs. And I've considered actually making a "Show Me How You Practice" playlist of my own videos, but I just have so many on my channel that are about tarot practice and tarot games and tarot exercises, which to me truly is the same thing, that I better not. Just scroll through my channel and you'll find plenty of things. Yeah, because the tarot tips, they're all intertwined in every video. Also on Patreon, I realized that I talk a lot about another type of craft like magic, intention work at the altar, etc. But also I'm leaning more back into just pure tarot practice or like working with cards. So essentially the first practice that I showed in the initial video was bibliomancy. The second practice that was in the live stream that's on my channel was about reading cards for fictional characters. We did the spooky edition because it was close to Halloween. So now I want to talk about, as I said, immersing yourself in a world of a specific tarot deck. That then opens the door to reasons to make art or some type of craft hobby type thing for your tarot deck, the one that's in your hands right now. I'm talking about maybe your favorite deck or just any deck in your collection that has a realm of its own. So that's an opinion. For me, Triunfo de la Luna, the reason I love this deck so much is because as I started working with it, I realized I was being sucked into a very specific realm. And it's something that truly exists somewhere on the astral, and this is my portal to it. Every single card in this deck is a portal to a place in that world. And I will show you the collage that I made because that apparently was how I made the visual for it. I fairly recently framed it and hung it up. I'm looking at it right now. I will film it for you. It's the colors and the themes and some of the images even. Those were the historic images that inspired several cards in this deck, in ancient tarot decks, actually. So the collage work is really a, in my opinion, good representation, even though it's not really good collage, but who cares? I like it. Really good representation of this realm, the world that Patrick Valenza made when he made this deck. And so for me, it's special because it only started clicking when I got, or when I saw the darker background cards, so the paradoxical edition. It didn't immediately click when I saw the classic edition with the parchment paper and the more red tones, which is beautiful in itself, but for me this is the one, and you can kind of tell that's what I like. That's, you know. So first thing to do is find yourself a deck, hopefully it's already in your collection, I assume it is, that kind of comes with its own realm. As I explained, it's every card is a portal to it. When you put cards down on the table or on the floor, on the bed, wherever you do tarot, and you make a spread with the cards, you see that this is a world in itself. It's kind of a storytelling, and you know that you are not in the regular old earthly realm. Again, I have to emphasize it's your own personal experience, it's your own opinion. It can differ which deck does that for you. Rider-Waite-Smith kind of also does that for me. Just saying, it's one of those regular decks. And the reason I know that that's also a realm for me, same as this one, is because for those two decks, I've made maps. And I shared that on my channel years ago, which is a typical show me how you practice type video. So you can check both of those out, and it will just help you connect to the deck more and connect to the world that is part of that deck, because all I'm holding here is a bunch of cards. But what this deck means to me is just, oh my God, here we go. It's this whole world that exists outside of this one, but I am a resident of that world as well, because I am welcomed by each and every creature, little demon friends of this deck. They like me, we know each other, we're all best friends. It's kind of like paradoxical, meaning everything is true and false at the same time, and light and dark at the same time. It also glows on the black light, by the way, so black light, dark light, that's paradoxical in itself as well, and I just love those types of energies. I also work with Lilith, very similar energies. I call her my paradoxical queen. Therefore, everything that may seem bad turns out to be really good and fluffy and happy and something that you want to engage with. Bad, kind of like dark. So it's a shadow work deck for me as well. And a hug deck at the same time. A deck where I feel at home. A world where I feel at home. And everything that's dark is also light, and everything that's light is also dark. I feel like the creatures, the little demons that reside in this world, they're all lovely. They're not bad at all, but they live in this type of underworld where everything is upside down and everything is kind of challenged. So different opinions and views on the world, and most of all, we're talking, I think, prejudice is really challenged and turned upside down, turned on its head. And with this exercise, I know I'm get to the point. I got one of those comments the other day. Whatever, all right? This is my channel, my rules. But basically, this exercise is to make the realm that you experience when you think about the deck or work with the deck come true somewhere else. So elsewhere. So what I did is, instead of just having it in my head, or maybe like drawing it or something, or talking about it, I made a collage. And I think that's really great because there's another way of getting into it, of making stories and really feeling it out and truly understanding things on a different level than to just read cards or, as I said, all those other exercises. But then, of course, one that's really great is just path working, obviously. But here you can then also path work with the artwork that you've made. And so it becomes maybe even more personalized. So far, we obviously have work with the cards, right? Obviously. Path work, use your imagination, obviously. Visit that astral realm that really truly does then start to build. It's a world building deck. And then the world building also changes into making a map if you wish, but I think that really helped me falling in love with the deck even more. And then the collage. Now, collage was the media that I chose, but obviously, if you're a great painter or if you just love to paint or draw, it, you know, use whatever you want. Maybe even make a video collage thing. That's pretty cool. So you can obviously tell that I really love this deck. I treasure it. I've talked about this deck so much, I don't even know what to say about it anymore, but I guess without further ado, let me show you the collage that I've made. Also, the deck that I've made, that was a photographic deck. It's very similar to this realm, and then also to another deck that I love, Crow's Magic Tarot. I believe actually those two very dark decks in color and, in my opinion, sort of in theme, even though there's also a lot of humor in it. They kind of reflect this very similar realm. And then my deck also is just so, I don't know, it's just a part of Astral Lady essence, apparently. But I actually took a picture of a part of that collage, and it's one of the cards. And I believe it's the world building visualize astral, not astral travel, but visualize card. It was actually, well, let's just use the word interesting, maybe shocking or something, how everything at a certain point in my practice, tarot as well as magical practice, really came together. How I was able to connect the dots. And my patrons know everything about it, especially the after party goers, where I really open up about all of this stuff. It's really how my spirituality, in a way, started to become truly my own, how I felt like I was crafting it, where I was making it, and also at the same time, basically recognizing things that in retrospect I thought, oh, I didn't make that up. I recognized it. And that's where it started from years ago. It's actually always been there. And only now I'm connecting the dots. So it's really making sense of my own practice. And it all started diving deep like this with my tarot decks. So maybe not specifically this one, but actually also, yes, definitely specifically this one, because this is the one that I love, you know. Same with Crow's Magic. And then now also with my own magical guidance cards. So something that definitely shocked me, one of those red threads that I recognized, was how I chose the Bernie relief, Ishtar, or Inanna, or Lilith, for that collage, for this deck, for this realm that we're talking about, which is my realm. My realm in this deck, my world, the world building, right? The world building thing. At the time of collaging that, I hadn't acknowledged her presence in my life yet. I hadn't recognized that entity yet. At some point, she came in. I understood the assignment. I heard the name, kind of thing. It was all very magical. And that's when the sort of deity practice, or basically working with a specific entity that's known by name also by other people, started. And I looked back at this collage, and there she was. It's just one of those things that's so amazing to me. And I know it's probably only amazing to me, but here I am sharing it with you. I'm holding up the Strength card because it's my favorite card in the deck, and this to me is very Lilith energy, half woman, half beast, and it's such a shadowy card again. And yes, paradoxical, it's beautiful and scary at the same time. Bloody gorgeous. And then I want to show you this card, which is the Tower card or the Lightning card, and you can see pretty much the exact same image in the collage as well, which is one of those historic images that ancient tarot decks, which this one is based off of, used, yeah, in their imagery. So let me show you other decks in my collection that I feel are very world building-y kind of thing. Who cares about words? Let me show you images. And then you can maybe have more of an idea of what it means to, well, do this for yourself. And please, please let me know if you do. And maybe, wouldn't that be amazing? Film it and just make a VR, because that would be incredible. So obviously, Rider-Waite-Smith, I think that's, you can make a map. It's very clear with the landscape in the background. That also really helps. But now let's focus also on atmosphere and just different worlds. So actually the first deck I thought of was Ritual Tarot, which is one I really, really love. And this is great because, well, it is a collage deck. So you can get inspired by the actual artwork in this deck. So Jeremy uses a lot of nature, landscapes, and then sort of collages figures over that. A lot of ancient Egypt, ancient Greece. I like to describe this deck as warm earth. So even though it's very fiery, there's also a lot of water. It's a very balanced deck, honestly. That's what makes it a good deck. But it's also very earthy. When I read with it, I feel good and grounded, and I feel like it's in my stomach kind of thing. I feel like I'm working with my gut. I feel that when I work with this deck, I'm about to make a good decision based off of the reading, a good decision that feels good for me. And wouldn't it be great to put that into a visual collage that you can maybe hang up in your home? That feeling. And just also the beauty that is this deck. Another deck that I love to use, Tarot of a Moon Garden. This is all realm vibes, okay? So this deck is set in basically the landscape of the moon. It's set on the moon. So if that doesn't inspire you to make a drawing or something, I don't know what will. But you see how this is clearly not on Earth. It's not your daily daily thing. It's actually meant to be somewhere else on the moon, and then it's very magical and fantastical. And the color palette, of course, which is very, very 90s, it's just gorgeous. And I think it's very fairy forest landscape kind of thing. So who doesn't love that? And then tie it maybe to your own, childhood memories, maybe with photos of yourself as a kid. I could do that because that is definitely my inner child deck. Then I have a definite wild card, Terrestrial Tarot, all right? That is clearly a world of its own, and it would fit into my Triumphi realm. I actually feel like these are little creatures that live in that world as well. Also, yeah, I didn't grab it, but I have the, is it called Ancient Mysteries Tarot deck? It's another one of those uglies in my collection, but I think it's really cool. And then, of course, get into the Druid craft, get into the Wildwood, get into those types of decks where it's very earthy. It's clearly set in this realm, but maybe in the past, and do some time traveling. I know this was more of a presentation rather than actually showing you how I practice, like the old videos where I make maps of my tarot decks, or actually collaging it and showing you in real time. But the collage is made, the world is existing somewhere on an astral plane, and now also in collage form. And I think that's just really great. And I truly love that tarot was able to bring me that, you know? Tarot is more than just, and I'm not diminishing because it's great, giving advice, or for some people predicting the future, warning you about things, or getting into shadowy aspects of the self and getting to know yourself. It's also about getting to know yourself in the sense of, how far can I take this? How much of that one realm can I create? Can I imagine? Can I make? And can I make more into reality? That's easier access kind of thing. Definitely, again, if you want to see more of these types of videos, check out the playlist on my channel, which is the VRs to my hashtags basically, or my videos, so you can see other people doing their own thing, or just scroll through my channel because there's so much of the show me how you practice essence in what I like to share on YouTube. This was fun. This was fun. I always love just talking about my favorite decks. If you've made it this far, please comment, "Aw, love." Maybe love in capital letters so that I know it's not a mistake, that you're actually communicating with me with our secret word this time, that you have made it this far, that you've watched the entire video and there was something about it that you did or did not love. By all means, like or dislike the video. Don't leave without leaving a comment, and definitely tell me what you thought of this kind of approach to your favorite deck, or a deck that you just want to know better. If you're interested in these types of videos where I really get into depth of what I'm feeling in the moment and what I'm thinking and what I'm doing, please check out Patreon, especially the After Party tier. As I said, that's the one where I basically share pretty much everything. Thank you so much either way for being here. You can also support the channel just by, as I said, liking, commenting, sharing the video. I will see you all next time. Bye.